you cats out there, all you advertising cats, jumping and jiving, sucking up that good juice, trying to make all those daily deadly deadlines, searching the debris of your minds for that earth-shattering shape, that magical word that will get you cats and kitties what you would lie or die for. Get you what you think might make you immortal and truly transcendental. Get you what, you ask? What? Why, the idea, babies. The idea. Still telling each other who the greatest idea cat in the world is. Mr. Chiat, Mr. Hyatt, Mr. Ogilvy, Riney, Hiney, and all them other geese. They're going to get it straight. Or else they know a cat who knows a cat who can get it straight. But I'm going to lay a cat on you who was the grooviest, gonest, wailingest idea cat who ever stomped on this sweet swinging sphere. And they call this yeah cat Shazam, or the Shaz for short. Now, when it comes to ideas, the Shaz wrote the book. And here it is, written 14,000 years ago in the Grotto of the Great Beyond, near a little town called Dilly, I believe was the name of the place. And it's properly entitled The Mystery and Mysticism of Grasping Ideas from the Mind of Morpheus. And all that jazz like that there, you dig? Now, of course, you're asking, who is this Shaz and how did he come to write this alleged masterpiece? Well, let me lay it on you. Here's the lick. Here's the lick. The Shaz didn't even know he had it in him. You see, the dude was a cut-rate trombone player in a little five-piece combo and getting his heavy-duty kicks from blowing his axe nightly. Man, all the cat wants to do is play jazz bone. You dig what I'm saying? And nothing, but nothing is getting in the way of that double euphoria trip. Until one hallelujah morning when the Shaz was goofing down the yellow brick road with his buddies, and they came upon a little cat with a blank page. And the Shaz stopped dead in his tracks. And at that point, some great mystical calling began to transform the Shaz. And he knew right then and there that he would never play a jazz gig again, that a greater calling was at hand. And so he looked down at the little cat with the blank page, and he said to the little cat, "What's the matter with you, baby?" And the little cat with the blank page looked up at the Shaz and he said, "Well, Shaz, my page is blank. It's been blank from in front. As a matter of fact, it's blanker than an eggshell. It's blanker than all the hungry wordless pages in heaven and earth, and I ain't got the first clue as to what to do about it." Shaz looked down at the little cat and he said, "I dig what you're putting down, baby. And I understand the fear and terror in your heart, but we got to take it easy here and come up with a solution that will last until the days when advertising cats and kitties appear on the planet, because they're really gonna need it." Shaz was a very wise cat indeed, you dig? Anyway, suddenly the Shaz did a double 42-foot-high round-off flip-flop, landed perfectly on the balls of his feet, and declared in an ethereal tone of voice, "The problem, my children, is not the blank page, but how to train the inner mind in the methods and principles of creating, generating, and producing ideas with which to fill the blankness." Heavy, heady shit, sighed his buddies. And the Shaz said, "What you cats need are some barbells for the mind, and my third eye is telling me where I gotta go to get them. So you studs hang out here for a little while, roll a couple of J's, and I'll be back before it's too late." So there went the Shaz down the yellow brick road, and he traveled for 14 hours and 22 seconds until he came to the entrance of the Grotto of the Great Beyond, moved into the bowels of Mother Earth, where he knew the answers lay in a state of restful alertness, waiting. No sooner had the Shaz kicked back to throw down a brew when he looked up and saw inscribed on the side of this giant stalagmite the precious, timeless knowledge for creating ideas. The Shaz, having a photographic memory, shot a couple of rolls, developed them in the recesses of his soul, and knocked out this tome, so that today, 14,000 years later, you too can know the shimmering truth. Now, pick up on what is written. In the art of mining for ideas, what counts is not where to look for a particular idea, but how to train the mind in the methods by which all ideas are produced, and how to dig the principles which are at the source of all ideas. Some dudes think ideas come from nowhere like magic, but in reality, there are two very groovy principles which can teach you how to dig for gold. You dig? And here they are. Number one, an idea is nothing more or less than a new combination of old elements. Number two, the capacity to bring old elements into new combinations depends largely on the ability to see relationships. Some meager minds see a fact as a separate bit of knowledge. Others, like the Shaz, see it as a link in the great chain of knowledge. If you can dig this, you have the key to the golden door of ideas. Now, my lords and ladies, listen carefully, because I am about to hip you to the true essence of what the Shaz laid down those many precious eons ago. And at the center of the mandala is the magic number 5. You must now hard dig the 5 steps which will lead you to the cosmic path of ideas. Lay all your eyes and ears on this, my cats and kitties, 'cause it's simple, but it ain't easy. Numero uno. Gather the raw material, the stuff you need to feed your mind. Like notes, baby. The specific notes you need for the tune you gotta write. But dig, don't stop there. Try and gather all the notes from all the tunes that have ever been written. Like pick up on all the beautiful beats of this sweet swinging life. Numero dos. Now, like a fine smoke, let the stuff, the plasma of thought begin to permeate your being, and dig how the notes begin to relate, to fit together. Pick up on this little riff here or that little lick there. Dig how all the individual and collective rhythms begin to swing together. Choose, scan, digest, groove, and bop with it all, babies. Numero tres. Now let it all go. Let it breathe and let it flow. Head back to the pad and listen to little Coltrane or Lord Buckley. Read a little Ferlinghetti or Krishnamurti. Head on down to the local pub and hang with your buddies, because on the way back to the pad, hours later when you least expect it, Shazam! Numero cuatro. Suddenly you will see in the mirror of your mind what you had consciously stopped searching for but continued subconsciously longing to hear. The idea, the hook for the tune that will let you finally dance into the great hall of your mind. Numero cinco, the sacred hall of your mind where you will write and play, not the notes, but the music. Your music in all its fullness. And when you truly share it with your brothers and sisters, together you will be able to make it even better. Together you will be able to make the love breeze swing to a cathedral high. And that, my studs and stallions, cats and kitties, is the gift of knowledge and love from the Shaz to you. Hey, I was digging the Shaz's beat so hard I almost forgot the rest of my story. Meanwhile, back at the yellow brick road, the Shaz's buddies and the little cat with the blank page are waiting impatiently and fearfully since they've been hit by a giant storm with the thunder roaring and the lightning and the water pouring. And these cats are standing in the middle of the yellow brick road with water up to their elbows, huddled and puddled. And just about when they're ready to cash it all in, they look up, and lo and behold, here come the Shaz. Cool as anybody you ever see, right across the water, walking. And he came up to them and he said, "What's the matter with you babies now? What's taking place, boys? What's all the fuss?" And they said, what do you mean, what's all the fuss? Can't you see the thunder roaring and the lightning and the water pouring? And the Shaz said, I told you to stay cool, didn't I, babies? And that I'd be back before it was too late with the truth. The question is, are you ready to receive it? And they said, yeah, Shaz, you put it down and we'll pick it up. And the Shaz stepped back and with a little wave of his hand made all the water disappear, stood up on this little hill and lifted his arms in supplication of the master. And the Shaz say, oh, sweet, swinging flowers of the fields, oh, sweet singular song of beauty. And the Shaz say, stomp upon the terror, and they hit it. And the Shaz say, straighten your arms up, and the arms went up. And he said, higher, and the arms went higher. And the Shaz say, dig infinity. And they dug it. And when the Shaz had finished, the little cat with a blank page looked up at the Shaz and he said, Shaz, Shaz, my page is full. And the Shaz put the eyes of love on the little cat with the full page, looked deep into the windows of his soul and said, I know, baby.